Every day here, we are talking to different experts around the world. Some of them have their expertise in things like tactical ways to enter into a house or a stairwell. We'll be incorporating some of that information into our next Patreon set. Others are economists, some with inside information from the military. What I just got off the phone with was an individual who is deep inside of the US economy, and they are running money for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of people into the millions of dollars. They said that right now, because credit card companies are racking up their losses at the fastest pace that they have in 30 years, a great financial crisis is coming. Now, he said that people at the Federal Reserve, according to those that he has talked to, will call this the financial crisis 2.0. He said they might call it the financial crisis of 2023, or they might call it, finally, the Great Depression. The United States of America is right now spending 44% of our gross domestic product per year, the same exact level that we did during World War II. Deficit spending alone is 6% of our GDP. After just 8 years, the U.S. deficit will grow by half of the U.S. GDP. Now, since the debt ceiling crisis that we saw last, we saw U.S. borrowing up to $14 billion per day just to cover their deficit spending. By 2030, Bloomberg projects that the spending will be 7%, and the U.S. is spending right now like we are in a full-blown economic collapse. You only see people, and this is exactly what he said, you only see governments and banking institutions take the types of measures that the U.S. is right now before a major collapse of their currency or a major collapse of their economic order. Now, if this does happen, and he gave me some worst case scenarios, and let me tell you, these worst case scenarios even go far and beyond the doom and gloom that you might come to expect from people who are looking at reality. His worst case scenarios really say that people will be spending 80% of the money they bring home every month just to keep a roof over their head. His worst case scenario, and this isn't him alone, he has insiders inside the Federal Reserve. That worst case scenario will be people unable to make the choice between food and shelter, and they'll have to choose one of them. So you can expect, and that's what I asked him, what can the person expect? Well, he said you can expect a lot more multifamily housing to take place, immediate multifamily housing. That means they're going to come rushing to your house. Like, I have to live somewhere or I'm going to be out on the street. And as he's telling me these things, I'm recalling email after email and text message after text message from people inside of our circle. Now, of course, this is an expanded circle, but inside of our circle who are suffering this fate today. So it's like what they see coming down the pipeline isn't even going to wait till the last quarter of 2023. Instead, it already started. And so people are rushing to move into other people's houses. They're putting their children into positions of danger just to keep a roof over their head. And let me tell you, you have to be able to vet people out far beyond. You have to be a smart person. We live in a world of not so smart people. It doesn't mean that they're ignorant necessarily. They're just of simple mind. They have a hard time realizing the catastrophe that they have been born into and the collapse that they are surviving through. And because of that, they have a real chance of not actually making it through to the other side. So we have to start to be smarter than the average bear right now. We have to know people are capable of horrendous acts. People will lie to you straight to your face. They will lie until the day that they die. They will use you, and unfortunately, they will abuse you. And because we have to come to this understanding, we have to do a little bit of personal guarding. Who am I going to let my children be around? Who am I going to let my wife or my husband be around? And I know some people are going to get up there and they're going to stand on their box and they're going to say, Brad, ain't no wife should let her husband be around. That's up to him to do. Let me just tell you, if you want to stay married through this disaster, you have to work as a team. And your team needs to expand, not just to your family, but to other people with similar goals in mind. Kelly and I were talking with a friend of ours last night, and we were talking about what that utopia, and of course, our utopia is really just how our great-grandparents